Graded stakes racing continues, and this time we go to the Twin Spires. It is a Thanksgiving tradition, the Grade 2 Falls City Handicap. It is on the dirt, and it is for older fillies and mares at Churchill Downs. Usually draws a competitive cast. Sometimes it's a lightly raced horse on the improve, and sometimes these horses kind of just make their way back, circle the Churchill Downs Turfway Park, kind of go around all the meets, and then they start their spring at Churchill Downs and they end the year at Churchill Downs. We've got a couple of horses doing that. Again, a Grade 2. It goes as race number 11 at Churchill Downs on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. Starting off with the field, it drew a competitive field of 7, including some big names that you might remember from some graded stakes races, horses that raced against Latruska and some of the other horses in the distaff at the Breeders' Cup a few weeks ago. Bonny South going to try to get back on the winning side for Juddmonte Farms. Envoutante, who won the race last year, the Falls City. Army Wife ran in some big races, most recently at Parks, losing to Clairiere. Audrey's Time, a 7-length winner last time out, looked impressive visually. Speed figure came back okay, but it's got to go up in class, and the fractions were pretty slow on that last race. Cheetera, another one going up in class, but has got a couple of wins in her last 5 starts. Crystal Ball, a speedball, used to be trained by Bob Baffert, now been running in the Midwest, and hasn't won a Grade 3 or Grade 2 stakes race yet, so going to try the Grade 2 Falls City. And then High Regard, another closer who does seem to be a veteran of these things. The top contenders for me overall is going to be Envoutante, Bonny South, High Regard, and Crystal Ball. I think those are kind of the keys to the race, but it does interesting pace setup kind of in this race. As you look at the speed of the race, I think it's going to be between Crystal Ball and Cheetera. Those are the most likely pace setters. I think Envoutante wants the lead, and her best race this year was near the pace, up on the front end. Envoutante definitely seems to be coming around to another big race, but she may be a little bit overplayed in this spot. Brian Hernandez, a good jockey at Churchill Downs, does well with this horse. 3 for 6 at Churchill Downs is Envoutante, but I think she's going to be more of a pace setter in this spot. And I'm going to put her kind of in that second spot, and then the sustained runners coming from behind. Bonny South usually comes running from behind, and High Regard. So overall, I think the key to this race is the pace. If Envoutante goes to the lead, I think that's her best chance to win. I think she's going to come a little bit off the pace, and you got to question her current form. She's lost 3 straight after that dominating 4-length victory at 2-5 earlier this year. She also ran second to She Dares a Devil. And again, 6 for 6 in the money at Churchill Downs. Meanwhile, Crystal Ball has got some pace figures, I think, that are just a little bit faster. Then you've got the 2 main closers. And when you take a look at my top selection for this race, I think coming from behind, a chance to, I've kind of been chasing this horse a little bit. High Regard. This horse has some races where when it runs its best race, it can be competitive at this Grade 2 level. She ran competitively at Gulfstream Park. Then she kind of throws in some clunkers, but I do think she can come from off the pace. I think there's enough pace with Army Wife maybe making that mid-race move, Envoutante, and if it heats up a little bit early at the 9 furlong distance, I want a closer. I'm going to play a couple of closers in the exacta. High Regard on top to win the race, and then High Regard over Bonny South and Envoutante. If you like Envoutante as a kind of a standout, then I would play her over Bonny South and High Regard. I just think the closers are going to be heard from in this race. I think there's going to be enough pace with Crystal Ball, Envoutante, maybe even Cheetera. And then, of course, Audrey's Time, not really sure what to do with that 7-length win. You know, she came off slow fractions. That's the best race of her career. It was at Churchill Downs. She's got a win and a second in 2 starts at Churchill Downs. Interesting running of the Falls City Handicap on Thursday. A big traditional week of racing, the Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to have coverage of the Goldenrod, also the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Churchill Downs for 2-year-olds on the Kentucky Derby Trail, a preview of the Clark race. So remember, share this video, smash that like button, and who do you like in the Grade 2 Falls City from Churchill Downs?